Good afternoon, students. Students, today we will start a new chapter of history. And the chapter is chapter number 1, that is Rise of Nationalism in Europe. Students, this chapter is very interesting and you can say to some extent complicated also, because it's not only the views or incident of one country but incident of several countries in Europe. Students, you know that the India was not only the country which was under the external power or under British rule. I mean to say, because India was under British rule, so some European countries they were also some under some external power. And even if they were not under external power, then means monarchy was there. And you see that monarchy is means autocratic rule, and whatever they want, these monarch they do. So the people, not people but subjects, they were very much terrorized, threatened, and even they were not enjoying their rights and everything as it was in India. The same happened in some countries of Europe also. Now you just see one picture is there, one portrait is there, one just, and now you see what's written beside that. It's the dream of worldwide democratic and social republics, the pact between nations. This is means a print prepared by who prepared it, Frederick Soreau in 1848. And now you see this is a just statue of, I mean to say, independence. You can say a statue of independence means a statue of liberty, and it's a statue of a lady. And you have seen that people they are passing by it, means in front of it, and they have their own flags. And students, you know that if people they have their own flags means they are independent. And you see it's a long row, even it's a long row. And even you see from the universe, means I just mean to say from the sky, even the just Holy Spirit, and even Jesus Christ and some other Holy Spirits, they are watching it, and they are just very happy, and even they are just dropping the flower petals. So you see, and even this, when this portrait was prepared at that time, the several countries of Europe they were not independent, and it was a dream that the world should be democratic and social republic. Okay, now let's see, and today we'll just read a very small portion, but it is very interesting and I hope that you will relish it. In 1848, Frederick Soreau, he was a French artist. He prepared a series of 4 prints. उसने इस तरह की 4 प्रिंट बनाई, विजुअलाइजिंग हिज ड्रीम, जिसमें उसका जो ड्रीम था, सपना उसने दिखाया, ऑफ अ वर्ल्ड मेड अप ऑफ डेमोक्रेटिक एंड सोशल रिपब्लिक एज ही कॉल्ड दैम। जब तो वर्ल्ड के बहुत सारे कंट्रीज़ डेमोक्रेटिक मतलब इंडिपेंडेंट भी नहीं थे, तब ये वर्ड आ गया था डेमोक्रेटिक एंड सोशल रिपब्लिक। एंड फ्रेडरिक सोरियो ही टुक अ ड्रीम. The first print which we have seen of the series shows the people of Europe and America, men and women of all ages and social classes, marching in a long train and offering homage to the Statue of Liberty as they pass by it. As you would recall, artists of the time of French Revolution, we read it in 9th class, personified liberty, क्योंकि उसमें यही चीज़ दी गई थी, लिबर्टी के लिए ही फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन हुआ था, as a female figure. Here you can recognize the torch of enlightenment. Is this a torch is there in the hand of this Statue of Liberty. She bears in one hand and the Charter of Rights. Charter means पूरा अध्याय of rights of man in the other. On the earth, in the foreground of the image, lie the shattered remains of symbols of absolutist. Absolutist means यहाँ पर आगे ये सब गिरे हुए नीचे देखो, मीन्स जहाँ पर एब्सोल्यूट पावर राजा की थी वो सिंबल्स नीचे गिरा रखे हैं. इन सोर्यूज Utopian vision, the people of the world are grouped as distinct nations identified through their flag. यहाँ पर लोग दिखाए गए हैं अलग अलग देशों के, लाइन से आ रहे हैं, सिर्फ अपने फ्लैग से उनको आइडेंटिफाई किया जा रहा है. एंड नेशनल कॉस्ट्यूम्स लीडिंग द प्रोसेशन. सबसे पहले वे पास द स्टैचू ऑफ लिबर्टी आर द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स. सबसे पहले यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स एंड स्विट्ज़रलैंड, बाय विच दिस टाइम वर ऑलरेडी नेशन स्टेट्स, क्योंकि तब तक वो ऑलरेडी नेशन स्टेट्स बन चुके थे. फ्रांस. नाउ लेट्स सी, लेटर ऑन विल जस्ट रीड दिस वर्ड. फ्रांस identifiable by the revolutionary tricolor had just, और तभी फ्रांस थोड़े से दिन पहले ही रीच द स्टैचू उसी के सामने से निकलता है. शी इज़ फॉलोड बाय द पीपल ऑफ जर्मनी. उसके बाद जर्मनी बेयरिंग क्या देके द ब्लैक रेड एंड गोल्ड फ्लैग. इंटरेस्टिंगली एट द टाइम व्हेन सोर्यू क्रिएटेड दिस image, the German people did not yet exist as a United Nations. उसने कब ये बना दिया था, तब तक जर्मनी एक यूनाइटेड नेशन भी नहीं बन चुका था. द फ्लैग दे कैरी इज़ एन एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ लिबरल होप्स. जो उन्होंने फ्लैग ले रखा था वो एक मतलब कि हम आगे आने वाले टाइम पे आज़ाद होने वाले हैं, तो ऐसा फ्लैग था जिसमें दिखाया गया था in 1848 to unify the numerous German speaking principalities into a nation state under a democratic constitution. Following बाद में the German people are the people of Austria, the kingdom of two Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary and Russia. And from the heavens above Christ, saints and angels gaze upon the scene. वो ऊपर से देख रहे हैं. And they have been used by the artist. वो किस लिए दिखाया गया? To symbolize fraternity among the nations of the world. You see. Now let's again just move to that first page and you see. Absolutist means a government or system of rule that has no restraints on the power exercised. कि जिसके ऊपर कोई भी दबाव नहीं है, जो भी पावर यूज़ करता है अनलिमिटेड कर सकता है. इन हिस्ट्री द टर्म रेफर्स टू अ फॉर्म ऑफ मोनार्किकल गवर्नमेंट दैट वाज सेंट्रलाइज्ड, मिलिटराइज्ड एंड रिप्रेसिव. ओके. देन उटोपियन, अ विजन ऑफ अ सोसाइटी दैट इज सो आइडियल दैट इट इज़ अनलाइकली टू एक्चुअली एग्जिस्ट. मतलब ये एक जैसे हम अपने माइंड में, अपने दिमाग में कोई भी सपना लेते हैं लेकिन हमें पता है कि वो पूरा नहीं होगा, वो एक ऐसा समाज का सपना दैट इज़ सो आइडियल, जो इतना सही है दैट इट इज़ अनलाइकली टू एक्चुअली एग्जिस्ट, कि उस टाइम पे वो ऐसा होता ही नहीं और तब भी हम एक ऐसा सपना लेते हैं. दैट इज़ कॉल्ड उटोपियन. ओके. नाउ आई थिंक you have understood the things, this portrait, and then the several countries, the people of several countries having their flags in their hand, and they are passing through this portrait, and even Jesus Christ, saints and angels, they are watching from the heaven and they feel very happy. Okay. Now you see, the things are going to be very interesting, students, very interesting. Now this chapter will deal with many of the issues विजुलाइज्ड बाय सोरियो. इसमें जो सोरियो ने पहले ही सोचा था वो सारी चीज़ें इस चैप्टर में हम उन्हीं को डील करेंगे इन फिगर 1. ड्यूरिंग द 19th century, nationalism emerged as a force which brought about sweeping changes in the political and mental world of Europe. कि 19th सेंचुरी में नेशनलिज्म पूरे वर्ल्ड में इतना फैल गया कि जिसने क्या लेके आया, जो पूरे जो चेंजेस बिल्कुल स्वीप कर दिए सारे पॉलिटिकल एरिया में, और जो मेंटल वर्ल्ड था यूरोप के लोगों का मेंटल मीन्स मेंटल एप्टीट्यूड ही बदल दिया. द एंड रिजल्ट ऑफ दीज चेंजेस वॉज द इमरजेंस ऑफ द नेशन स्टेट in place of multinational dynastic empires of Europe. The concept and practices of a modern state in which a centralized power exercised sovereign, you know, internally and externally we are free, control over a clearly defined territory had been developing over a long period of time in Europe. But a nation state was one in which the majority of its citizens and not only its rulers came to develop a sense of common identity and shared history or descent. Nation state का मतलब, you underline it and it's your question that what do you mean by nation state? Means an area, a territory in which the majority of its citizens, कि जहाँ पर सभी लोग और उसके रूलर्स सब एक ऐसा सेंस, एक ऐसी भावना डेवलप करते हैं जो कॉमन आइडेंटिटी की, जिसमें सब एक जैसी पहचान है सबकी और सब अपने इतिहास को बराबर शेयर करते हैं. सो दिस इज़ कॉल्ड नेशन स्टेट. दिस वाई आई एम जस्ट स्पीकिंग इन हिंदी टू मेक द थिंग्स मोर क्लियर टू यू. ओके, now I think you all are relishing it, you all are feeling good and you are able to understand the things. So this commonness did not exist from time immemorial, it was forced through struggle. ये जो commonness की भावना लोगों में पहले से नहीं थी, लेकिन ये कैसे आई? forced through struggle, जब बहुत आंदोलन हुए उससे, through the action of leaders and the common people. This chapter will look at the diverse processing through which nation states and nationalism came into being in 19th century Europe. Let's see here. What is a nation? In a lecture delivered at the University of Sorbonne in 1882, the French philosopher Ernest Renan outlined his understanding of what makes a nation. The lecture was subsequently published as a famous essay entitled Aus sie qu'une nation, means what is a nation. It's their French language. In this essay, Renan criticized the notion means mat, suggested by others that a nation is formed by a common language, race, religion or territory. But what he spoke about nation, a nation is the culmination of a long past of endurance, sacrifice and devotion, a heroic past, great man glory, that is the social capital upon which one bases a national idea. To have common glories in the past or to have a common will in the present, to have performed great deeds together, to wish to perform still more, these are the essential conditions of being a people. A nation is therefore a large-scale solidarity, and its existence is a daily plebiscite, means a province is its inhabitants if anyone has the right to be consulted. It is the inhabitant. A nation never has any real interest in annexing or holding on to a country against its will. The existence of nations is a good thing, unnecessary even. Their existence is a guarantee of liberty, which would be lost if the world had only one law and only one master. So this is one source. What is a nation? It's now one more new word. Plebiscite means a direct vote by which all the people of a region are asked to accept or reject a proposal. So today we'll just start the French Revolution and the idea of nation, because first in the world only, the just to be liberal, to be democratic country, the first one, movement, struggle, revolution, it was started in France, and you already have read it. The first clear expression of nationalism came with the French Revolution in 1789. France, as you would remember, was a full fledged territorial state in 1789 under the rule of an absolute monarch. And who was that monarch? King Louis XVI. The political and constitutional changes that came in the wake of French Revolution led to the transfer of sovereignty from a monarchy to a body of French citizen. द रेवोल्यूशन प्रोक्लेम्ड, इस रेवोल्यूशन से क्या चीज़ निकल के आई? दैट इट वॉज द पीपल हु वुड हैंस फोर्थ कॉन्स्टिट्यूट द नेशन एंड शेप इट्स डेस्टिनी. कि लोग ही हैं, राजा नहीं बनाएगा किसी भी देश का भाग्य, लोग ही अपने देश का भाग्य बनाएंगे और उसको अपने ही तरीके से उसके भाग्य को शेप देंगे. Okay, so this is all for today only. We will just start the lesson tomorrow in the real sense, but before that you will just read this page, this one page only, and the page third, page number 3, and when we will discuss tomorrow you will easily just understand it. So okay, from today it's okay, and we'll come tomorrow and we'll discuss the things. Okay, for that, by that, have a good day and bye. Thank you.